You can argue about what level of government is best prepared to deliver it. We can argue about how to pay for it. We should have those debates. But we should have those debates and then come to consensus and move forward. Because every year, every day that passes, every year that passes is another opportunity lost for little kids to enter kindergarten ready to learn and to pursue whatever their dreams may be.
So if we're building a foundation, we need to do it in those first 5 years. All of the parts that we build on top of that cannot be strong if that child is entering the kindergarten door, as some of our children in Cleveland do, without ever having opened a book, not knowing how to turn the pages, definitely not knowing letters or numbers, not having the social emotional skills to participate effectively in the classroom. All of those things are so critical for any reform that comes after that.
If we were to take those same kids and make sure that they're ready for kindergarten when they start, we're going to save a lot of money in the system for remediation, special education, tutoring, a huge amount. So while it's costly to provide high quality child care, it's also an absolute investment and one that gives us far better outcomes than what we're currently getting.
I think we're seeing an emerging consensus on this issue. There's a lot of areas that we disagree on across partisan lines, and so it's nice to find some things like early childhood education where the two parties say, this just makes sense. This is just going to do the right thing for the country.
That knowledge and education is freedom from poverty, it's freedom from jail, it's freedom from the cemetery, it's freedom from a life unfulfilled and not met their potential. And when we live in a city that has a 26% poverty rate, and we spend $40,000 a year to incarcerate someone in a county prison, and $8,000 to $10,000 a year to educate a child in pre-K, why are we making the false choice? Why are we making the wrong choice?
And if you want to make an impact on your community, you look at how to improve the lives of your neighbors. And nothing really does that like the investment in education. The longitudinal studies show that that children who have access to high quality early ed, not only do they do better in school, not only do they have greater grade attainment, they are much more likely to go to post-secondary, they are much more likely to have a sustaining job, to buy a house.
Poverty should not be destiny. The fact that you were born in poverty should not be your absolute rigid destiny. And the best single possible thing we can do against poverty is early child education. No question about it.
And unfortunately in my community, roughly half the kids are showing up at kindergarten in Florida not ready to learn. And at third grade, particularly our black and brown kids, 40% of them not reading on grade level. And that's a problem, because what we know is that when kids start behind, they almost always stay behind.
The one word that comes to mind when I consider what we should be doing on behalf of children, both here at home and around the world, is justice. In the scriptures, the Beatitudes, you remember those words, "Blessed are they who hunger and thirst for justice, for they shall be satisfied." There is no doubt that Save the Children, as an organization and as individuals, Save the Children has been a team which has been hungering and thirsting for that kind of justice, and frankly have brought it forward better than any group in the entire world.
We can be no more than what our experiences allow us to be. And as a result of that, I feel very strongly that we ought to do what is necessary to invest in our children to provide for them good experiences.
And I am a co-sponsor of the REACH Act, and as was mentioned earlier, this is bipartisan. That's what's really important. This is bipartisan. I had the opportunity to serve as an Assistant Secretary of State in the Bush administration under Condoleezza Rice when she was the Secretary of State. And I worked on the PEPFAR initiative. And I saw, with U.S. leadership and bipartisan support in the Congress, which was what PEPFAR was all about, what an impact that can have across the globe. Literally millions of lives were saved.
And the idea that we, for literally pennies per child, could save the lives of children who are otherwise dying today or tomorrow from things like diarrhea or pneumonia, which we years ago developed solutions to in the developed world, to me is heartbreaking and exciting. Heartbreaking because these are children that don't need to die. Exciting because we've got the opportunity to make this lasting difference. All of it at the end means nothing if we don't save more lives. And the work that Save the Children has been doing for years helps us focus our taxpayer investment in ways that can save children's lives in sustainable, lasting, and compounded ways.